we're going to be using these double angle formulas here to be able to find out what sine 2x is, cosine 2x is, and tangent 2x is when we're given specific information. So we have sine x equals 5 over 13 and x is in quadrant 1. So what I need to do is I need to find cosine and tangent because I already have sine. Easiest way to do that is to start off with a right triangle, like so. And so I know that sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so I know this is 5 over 13. And to find the adjacent side, I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem. So 5 squared plus b squared equals 13 squared. And that's going to end up giving me, when I solve for b is going to equal 12. So this side here is 12. And from this I can figure out cosine and tangent of x, not 2x like these are, just x. So cosine is just adjacent over hypotenuse, so 12 over 13, and tangent x is just going to be opposite over adjacent, 5 over 12. And we already know what sine x is, and since it's in quadrant 1, everything stays positive. So now that I have that, how do I figure out sine 2x, cosine 2x, and tangent 2x? Very simple. We use the formulas up here. So let's find sine 2x. Well, sine 2x is just 2 times sine times cosine. So 2 times sine, 5 over 13, times cosine, 12 over 13. And when I work that out, I'm going to end up getting 120 over 169. And that is sine 2x. Now, cosine 2x, we have a couple different choices. You can use any of these three to get the answer. I'm going to use the first one for no reason other than just it's first. So cosine squared x is just going to be 12 over 13 squared minus sine squared x, which is just 5 over 13 squared. And when I square these two and subtract them, I'm going to end up getting 119 over 169. And that's cosine 2x. Now last, I'm going to do tangent of 2x. Now I can do one of two things. I can use this formula here, and I can plug in 2 times 5 over 12 all over 1 minus 5 over 12 squared. Or I can use the fact that tangent 2x is just sine over cosine, which means the results here. So that's what I'm going to do. 120 over 169, all divided by 119 over 169. The 169s cancel out, leaving me with 120 over 119. And those are my three double angle formulas. Now how about cosine x equals 4 over 5 and cosecant x is less than 0? Again, I'm going to want to do a right triangle, so I can figure out all the parts. And cosine is just adjacent over hypotenuse, so 4 over 5. And I just use Pythagorean theorem to get the opposite side, so 4 squared plus b squared equals 5 squared. And when I solve for b, I'm going to end up just getting 3. So there's my opposite. But I still have to take into account I don't know where we are. In the previous one I knew we were in quadrant 1, but here I don't. So how can I figure it out? Well, I know cosine is positive, and when I look at the quadrants, cosine is positive only in quadrants 1 and 4. Now cosecant is negative. Well, where is cosecant negative? Cosecant, being the reciprocal of sine, is negative in quadrants 3 and 4. So, since I know that cosine is positive here and cosecant is negative here, I am located in quadrant 4. Now I need to find out my sine and tangent, because I don't have it, I only have cosine, so sine x is opposite over hypotenuse, 3/5, and then tangent x is going to be opposite over adjacent, 3/4. And since I am in quadrant 4, sine is negative and tangent is also negative, cosine is positive. Now I can actually go through and find out my double angle formulas. So sine 2x is 2 times negative 3/5, which is sine, times 4/5, which is cosine. And when I work this whole out, I'm going to end up with negative 24 over 25. And there's that double angle formula. Next, I'm going to do cosine 2x. And again, I would like to just use the first formula. It just seems the easiest to me. And so I'm going to get 4/5 squared minus negative 3/5 squared. And when I work all this out, I'm going to end up with 7/25. Last is tangent 2x. And again, I could use a formula, or I can just do sine 2x over cosine 2x and reduce it. So I'm going to do that. So negative 24 over 25, all divided by 7/25. The 25's cancel out, and this gives me negative 24/7. And these are all 3 double angle formulas for this given set of information.